Hey Pretty Girl Club. In this video, I'm going to talk about how I don't care if Beyonce bleached or not, and I'm going to explain why. So, you guys saw those pictures of her with silver hair and how her skin was like looking brighter and people were accusing her of bleaching. And then I saw some other videos where they were comparing her skin tone at its lightest to her skin tone at the most tan. So I know that she does tanning as well. But the reason why I don't care, even if she did brighten her skin or did vitamin C or whatever, the first thing that a lot of people don't understand is that when you are already mixed and when you already have European ancestry, your ability to get pale is going to be more extreme than a person who is 100%, monoracial African. So that's one thing that I just have to say because I've noticed this even with myself. Like anytime I start using vitamin C or alpha hydroxy acids or anything like that, my skin actually gets very bright. I feel like my skin gets brighter than a person who may have a lot more African ancestry. Like I really do believe that there could be more of a drastic difference. And in my opinion, it has to do with that person's European ancestry. If they are 20% white, 30% white, 40% white, then yes, they may be able to get paler because their skin, like it's literally, they don't have as much melanin in their skin to begin with. And so if you are doing things that are kind of like removing the melanin, yeah, there's not very much melanin to remove. So if she uses vitamin C, her face is going to get very pale. So that's the first thing. But the second thing is, even if Beyonce did bleach herself, even if all of these celebrities, Rihanna, Nicki Minaj, even if these women did bleach themselves, I do not care. You know why? Because it's their body. I don't care if they tan themselves. I don't care if they bleach themselves because I am not looking to other people to be my representation. I'm not begging other people to be my representation. I do not base my personal self-esteem on the behaviors of celebrities. So for example, let's say somebody naturally looks more like me and then they get a nose job or they change their features or something to where they no longer look as much like me. Like maybe now they look more white or something like that. I don't care. Like I don't get offended by that and I don't care because I cannot control what other people do with their body. That's number one. And also, a lot of people, they will police what you do with your body. They'll police your skin tone, especially if you're light skinned. By the way, has anyone ever noticed that? People only are tracking your skin tone when you're light skinned. I don't see people tracking Lupita Nyong'o's skin tone and trying to compare it and trying to see like, oh wait, did she get a little bit lighter? I didn't see people keeping that energy with Kelly Rowland when she came out looking 25 shades lighter than how she normally looks. I didn't see people keeping that same energy. I was one of the only content creators at the time that talked about Kelly Rowland and how she looks different. But because Kelly Rowland is dark skinned, nobody's tracking her skin tone. We only want to track people who have the skin tone that we find to be the most desirable. And so we're the colorists. It's like people have the audacity to call us the colorists when it's like, no, you guys are the ones who are tracking light skins. You're seeing how light they get or how tan they get. And then you're like arguing back and forth. Well, is she light skinned or is she not light skinned? And it's like, no, you obviously pedestalize light skin if you're that obsessed with it. But also when it comes to changing your beauty and changing how you look, so whether you're doing plastic surgeries, whether you're changing your skin tone, the people who get those surgeries to change their eye colors, another thing that a lot of people want to deny is they're trying to pretend like we don't live in a world where people judge you. We do live in a world where people judge you based on your looks. So the people who are out here getting these surgeries or changing their skin tones or changing their hair color or doing all these things, they're doing it because number one, either they like how it looks and that's their beauty standard. So maybe their beauty standard for themselves is, hey, I want to get bright or, I want to use vitamin C on my skin or whatever. So that's number one, is maybe that's their beauty standard and they're just choosing to meet that beauty standard and they don't give a fuck about what you think. Ariana Grande is another good example of this. She looks like a different person every time I see her, but guess what? She doesn't give a fuck what we think. It's her body and she's going to look how she wants to look. So that's number one. Either that's that person's beauty standard or that's how they want to look right now. Or number two, that person understands that, hey, I'm getting judged based on my hair texture or skin tone or eye color or whatever. And so I choose to represent myself in a way that is different from how I naturally am because I want to benefit from colorism, texturism, featureism, mixed privilege, light skin privilege. I don't know, looking more professional. Like when you go into a job interview and you dress in a suit and you don't dress in pants and flip flops because you know that they're going to judge you. So I don't shame people for wanting to privilege stack, because you can say all you want. Oh, I don't believe in that because that's not being authentic to myself. Okay, so that's fine. You can be authentic to yourself and stay right where you are in life and then don't complain. And then don't get mad at people like the Kardashians, for example, who just go out and purchase a new face and purchase a whole new body and then they're benefiting from pretty privilege. Like they understand that the world that we live in is a judgmental world and that people are shallow. And so they know how to make money off of other people's shallowness. But I've noticed that in the Black women empowerment space, they only seem to understand this concept with unambiguous Black women. They don't understand that light-skinned women can do the same things. They don't understand that there are light-skinned women out there or mixed race women who want to look more like their European side or more like their European family members, or maybe they just want their skin to be bright for the next couple of months or something. I don't know. Or maybe they had some hyperpigmentation and they got rid of it, or they got a chemical peel, or maybe they did straight up just say, hey, you know what? I'm a dark yellow. I want to go to being high yellow. I'm tired of people arguing about my skin tone. I'm tired of people saying I'm not that light skinned. I feel like my identity at the end of the day is a light skinned person. And so if that means that I'm going to stay as bright as possible so that I can, it's going to help me embrace that or whatever. Like people have so many reasons why they do the things that they do. And I've noticed that people only have empathy and understanding if it's someone that they feel is at the bottom of the social hierarchy. So if it's Gabby Sidibe or somebody that you view as being at the bottom, or if it's somebody that you view as being lower in beauty or status, you suddenly have so much empathy. And it's like, oh, well, she did that because society goes against people who have 4C hair, or society can go against people who are colored or people who are darker skinned. So that's why they do that stuff in Africa. Okay, well, there are also mixed people who understand that same concept. And so they play into their fluid identity. So yes, Beyonce being part European, that is a part of her identity. So if she decides to play into that fluidity by making country music or having silver hair or making her skin look brighter, then that is her personal choice and nothing you do or say is going to stop it. You saying that she bleached herself or she looks too light, you saying that, that's not taking away her light skin privilege. That's not taking away, her pretty privilege or her career. Like you didn't achieve anything by calling it out. In my opinion, people calling out skin tone changes and plastic surgeries, it's the same as somebody calling out if you have a weave, or somebody calling out if your nails are fake, or they're calling out that you're wearing contacts. They are calling it out because they want you to feel ashamed. They want you to feel ashamed that something about you is not natural. They want you to feel the same shame that they feel about their own bodies. They want you to not feel comfortable in your own skin. So that is why people will go out of their way to call those things out. And like I said, I actually don't care how people want to look. I don't care if you want to look like me. I don't care if you want to change your hair. What I have a problem with is when you want to change your hair and change your skin tone, but then you make fun of my hair and my skin tone. That is where I have a problem. I don't have a problem with people actually changing themselves or people saying, hey, this is what I feel is the best version of myself, or you know what, I'm experimenting with this look right now. So let me go tanning and see how tan I can get, and let me see how I feel in that skin tone, or let me see how I feel when I have that level of a tan. Do I feel more like myself? Do I feel more pretty when I have more of a tan, or do I feel more pretty when I look as bright as I can, or when my hair is blonde versus brown? That's the way that I think of it, and this is what a lot of people also don't understand. There is a such thing as privilege stacking. And yes, I know I kind of made up that term because it's the best way I can think of to describe it, but you get to decide which privileges are important to you. So to some people, light skin privilege is important to them. And that is why they're spending billions of dollars paying for bleaching creams or paying to get their skin scraped off. So it's like, is that extreme? Well, yes, obviously that is going to be extreme to a lot of people, but I can see why people are doing this. So the same thing applies though to women like Beyonce. The same thing applies to women who were already light skinned. Maybe they just wanted their skin to look brighter. And who go and check them? Obviously, Beyonce doesn't give a fuck if she's going out in public or taking pictures and showing herself looking bright. So even if she did make herself brighter, okay, well, that's how she looks now. So you arguing back and forth with it, I mean, that's not going to do anything. calling out someone's fake features does not take away their pretty privilege. And also, who are you trying to call them out in front of? Who are you trying to take their light skin privilege away in front of? This is all about the male gaze. If men didn't exist, colorism wouldn't exist. If men didn't exist, texturism and featureism would not exist. If men didn't exist, in my opinion, plastic surgeries and beauty stuff, like beauty enhancements of all kinds, probably wouldn't exist either. But I also don't shame women who choose to use the male gaze to their advantage. I talk about that all the time on this channel. It's okay if you want to look good and you want to get taken out, or you want to, attract a guy who's going to like provide or whatever. That's fine. In my opinion, I think you should do it from a decentered perspective, but I digress. But there are benefits and privileges that come with different body types or different skin tones or different hair textures and colors and features. And so you have the right to look how you want to look. You have the right to experiment with your beauty. You have the right to pursue whatever type of pretty privilege you want. There are different types of pretty privilege. There is a light skin pretty, there is a dark skin pretty, there is an African version of pretty, there is an Ethiopian or Asian or Latin American version of pretty. There are so many different types of beauty and so many different kinds of pretty privilege. And so I actually don't shame women for whatever they feel their type of pretty privilege is, or the type of pretty privilege that they want the most. That's their personal business. So I don't shame it. I just don't like when people shame that and then they turn around and you know damn well that there are thousands of unambiguous women who wear hair colors that are exactly the same as Beyonce's. There are unambiguous women who wear wigs that are the same color as Beyonce's wig from root to tip, platinum blonde from root to tip. So why is it not a problem when unambiguous monoracial black women wear those wigs, but then suddenly it's a problem when Beyonce wears it and she's trying to be white, which she already is part white. So it's the hypocrisy for me. But anyway, what do you ladies think? Has anyone tried to police or track your skin tone? Has anyone tried to track your hair color or eye color, or they try to track what you do and then they want to accuse you of somehow being self-hating? Or they want to shame you from benefiting from the privileges that come with your new body, or maybe you had a boob job or plastic surgery or something. Have you ever had people try to shame you because now you are receiving the privileges of your new body and your new type of beauty? Let me know what you think in the comment section, and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.